And same-sex marriage and other kinds of marriage, we'll talk about that. Homosexuality did not exist, so the issue never came up. What did come up for me at the time was a ban on interracial marriage. That's because my wife and I when we first started dating, our marriage was illegal in Arizona because she's black, I'm white. After we got married, it was still illegal in 16 other states until 1968, when the Supreme Court ruled that those laws unconstitutional. Gun control. Many cities had gun control laws, and it wasn't until, and many states did, but it wasn't until the NRA began using gun rights as a political issue to get Republican votes that it became this big issue it is now. Drug use. Well, the 60s were just beginning, and at my high school, the only drug in sight was marijuana. All that completely flipped about the time I was in college in the early 60s. Heroin, cocaine, LSD, many other drugs became extremely popular, as did long prison sentences for getting caught. Some of it was cultural, by the way, as when my buddy told me that in Hawaii, they were smoking joints in the university cafeteria. Crime. Crime came in what we called waves. The mafia and the juvenile delinquent were the face of crime in my time. The teen gang's weapon was the zip gun, no pistols and stuff like that, a crude homemade firearm, and the switchblade. One of the eye-opener movies for younger people to watch now would be Blackboard Jungle in the late 50s, I think. And that was about high school delinquents. A great Broadway musical of 1957 titled West Side Story was about youth gangs in New York City. So there was definitely crime, and it was considered an issue. Women's rights. Well, my grandmother could not vote until she was 45. I could not vote until I was 21. My father-in-law could not vote in East Texas at all because he was black. Let's look at a few items that we dealt with personally in the 50s and 60s. My wife faced losing her teaching job when she got pregnant, 4 years into our marriage. Children should not see pregnant women. My ROTC handbook said a soldier in uniform could not carry groceries nor push a baby carriage. Black women were fired for wearing an afro, cornrows, etc., anything other than pressed, processed hair or wigs that conformed to white hairstyles. Racial jokes were told by teachers, professors, anyone who wanted to tell one. A college dean called the African students into his office to tell them they were not allowed to date white co-eds. A riddle, this is on me, a riddle I could just not solve was this. A boy and his father were driving when they had an accident. The father was killed, and the boy rushed to the hospital, where the surgeon looked and said, "I can't operate on this patient. He's my son." But the father was killed. How could the surgeon? Oh, it was his mother. Oh, dummy me. At the vaudeville comedians used to say, I got a million of them. You will hear more of these as I offer more of what all this looks like from the perspective of 84 years. Thanks for listening.